Hey guys, welcome back to Cyber Platter. Today we'll see a scenario-based cybersecurity interview question and answer. This is just part one. We will release other questions and scenarios as well. It'll be in the description box. And if you want to know more about other cybersecurity topics which can help you with your interviews if you're attending one or can help you understand cybersecurity concepts, the playlist is in the description box too. So let's see the scenario for today. You work as a cybersecurity analyst for a multinational technology company. One day, you receive an email from an employee who claims to have received a suspicious email with a subject line that suggests it contains confidential company information. The employee is concerned that it might be a phishing attempt. You investigate further and discover that the email does indeed contain a malicious attachment. Okay, so this is the scenario. There is an email that is reported as a phish by an employee in your organization. You investigate it. Your initial investigation says that it has a malicious attachment. Now let's move to question number one. Describe the immediate actions you would take to handle this incident and mitigate potential risks. Let's see some of the immediate actions that as a cybersecurity analyst you can take upon discovering a confirmed malicious attachment in an employee's reported email. You can isolate the affected system. That is, you can disconnect the employee's computer from the network to prevent the malware from spreading further. If you are using an EDR solution, then you can, contain it from the EDR solution itself, the employee's computer. If you are not using one, you can use firewalls to do this. You can ask your networking team to do this to help you with this action. Next step would be to disable the employee's account. You can temporarily disable the employee's account to prevent unauthorized access to company resources. If you are using Active Directory, you can ask the Active Directory team to lock the employee's account or your IT, that is service desk team, to do it. Next is to quarantine the email and attachment. Quarantine the suspicious email and attachment to prevent accidental access and contain the threat. So if you're using any email hygiene tools, like for example, Microsoft Defender for Office, you can do it from the tool itself, or you can request your messaging or Exchange team to do it for you guys. Then the next step you can do is to document the incident. Thoroughly document all relevant details of the incident, including email headers, timestamps, and findings from your initial analysis. You can write down things like what is the source IP that the email was sent from, what is the sender's email address, was this a phishing attempt or a spoofing attempt, what could you find in the email headers, what time it was sent, was it sent only to this particular user, was it sent to the other people as well. Remember, if it was sent to the other people, you will take the same action, like quarantining those emails as well, or talking to those employees and disabling those accounts too. And the next step would be to notify the reporting employee. Inform the employee who reported the email about the incident's findings and actions being taken, so that they are aware that their email would be blocked, account would be blocked, or their computer would not be able to access the office network. Also, like we mentioned, if there are other employees who have received similar emails like this, inform them as well that they have received something like this. You can investigate those machines as well. Ask them if they have clicked on it, opened it, replied to it. Though you get all this information in your tools, if at all you're using tools for the email investigation, but you can ask the user to. Next is to initiate malware analysis. Now that you already know that there is a malicious attachment, you need to conduct a deeper analysis of the malicious attachment to identify the type of malware. Type can be it is a virus, worm, rootkit, what is it? And then the potential indicators of compromise, that is IOCs. And the next step would be to activate incident response plan. So every organization mostly has an incident response plan, you need to follow your organization's incident response plan to coordinate efforts, allocate resources, and ensure an effective response. If you want to know what is an incident response plan, how it is done, what are the phases, there is a separate video which talks deeply about it. I will link it in the description box. So these are the immediate steps that you can take once you know that there is a malicious attachment in the email. Let's move on to the next question. How would you verify whether the email is indeed a phishing attempt and not a false alarm? First step is analyze email headers. Email headers provide valuable information about the email's origin, paths, domains, IP addresses, email routing, and so on. Look for anomalies or suspicious entries in the headers, such as unusual IP addresses, domains, or email routing. Pay attention to discrepancies between the sender's claimed origin and the actual source. For analyzing the email header, right, you can use free tools like MX Toolbox, message header analyzer. So if you go to MX Toolbox, you can paste your header here and then hit analyze header. You will get all the information in a sorted way. This is an example from message header analyzer. So you see this, it tells you what was the subject, who is the message ID, creation time, from and to address. In the header, you can also look for DMARC, that is domain based message authentication, reporting, and conformance, and then DKIM and SPF information if SPF was pass or fail, authentication details. You can look for reply to address. You can check if these IP addresses or sender email addresses or domains are legit or have they been flagged for any phishing attempts previously. Once you analyze the header, then you can confirm sender identity. That is, verify the legitimacy of the sender's email address. Check for variations or misspellings in the domain name, and that may indicate a spoofed address. Compare it to known company email addresses to spot inconsistencies. To check for the reputation, you can use free tools like Talos Lookup Intelligence. This is, I think the website is talosintelligence.com. You can use that. MX Toolbox also has MX Lookup where you can check for the domain reputation. There are many other tools as well, free tools that you can use, like Google Postmaster is one of those. So if you can just Google, there'll be a lot of reputation checking websites that you can find, and you can go find the sender's reputation there. And the next step is to assess the email content. So you can look for things like generic greetings. Like phishing emails often use generic greetings like dear user or hello customer instead of using your name. And look for any urgency. Phishing attempts often create a sense of urgency to pressure recipients into taking immediate actions. See if there are any requests for sensitive information. Be cautious of emails requesting sensitive data like passwords, social security numbers, credit card details, etc. Phishing emails may contain misspellings and grammar errors. Look for those as well. And then look for any suspicious links or attachments. Hover over hyperlinks without clicking them, okay, to inspect the destination URLs for signs of phishing or malicious domains. Examine attachments for file types commonly associated with malware, for example, .exe, .js files. Then the next step is to examine the attachment. Carefully inspect the attachment for potential threats. You can use antivirus scanning. Use antivirus and malware tools to scan the attachment for known malware signatures. Next, you can verify to see if the file extension matches the file type. Malicious actors may attempt to disguise executable files as harmless documents, for example, .pdf, .pdf.exe. Then you can verify the file authenticity. Check if the attachment's contents match its expected purpose. For example, ensure that a PDF attachment contains readable text and not suspicious scripts. For malware analysis or malware samples, you can use some of the tools like Malware Bazaar, Fido Tracker, SSL Blacklist, ThreatFox, and so many others like this. And the next step is to cross reference with known threats. Utilize threat intelligence feeds, databases, and security vendors' resources to cross reference the email and attachment against known phishing indicators, malicious IPs, and file hashes. This can help identify previously identified threats. So for IP or URL reputation, right, you can use tools like Virus Total, URL Scan, Abuse IPDB, Cisco Talos, IP Void, URL filtering. There are many tools like that for IP and URL reputation. If you want to look for a file hash, you can also use Virus Total for that. There are many other hash tools like Quick Hash, hash tools, and so on. If you're looking for analyzing tools, sandboxing, file analysis tools, you can use tools like AnyRun, which is an online sandboxing tool, Cuckoo Sandbox, Meta Defender, Hash Search, Browser Sandbox, etc. Another step that you can take is to validate with reporting employee. Engage in a conversation with the employee who reported the email. Ask for additional context and information regarding their interactions with the email. Inquire if they clicked on any links or opened the attachment, replied to anybody, as this can help assess potential exposure. Next is use email authentication methods. Implement email authentication methods like DMARC to verify the authenticity of the sender's domain. This can help reduce the risk of email spoofing. Then check for social engineering tactics. That is, beware of social engineering tactics used in phishing emails, such as creating a false sense of urgency, impersonating trusted entities, or using emotional manipulation to prompt action. Remember that phishing attempts can be highly sophisticated and attackers constantly evolve their tactics. It's crucial to approach each suspicious email with caution and thorough investigation to differentiate between a real phishing threat and a false alarm. The next question is, if the email is confirmed as malicious, what steps would be taken to contain the threat and prevent it from spreading within the organization? First is malware removal and remediation. Initiate the process of removing the malware from the affected systems. This typically involves using antivirus and anti-malware tools to scan and clean the compromised device, ensure that the malware is completely eradicated. Next is system rebuilding or restoration. In cases where the malware has caused extensive damage or is difficult to remove, consider rebuilding the affected system from a known clean image or restoring it from a backup taken before the infection occurred. This ensures that the system is completely free from the malware. Next is change credentials. If the compromised account had elevated privileges or access to critical resources, change the user's credentials immediately. This helps prevent unauthorized access and potential further compromise. Next is network scanning and monitoring. Conduct network scans to identify other potentially compromised systems or devices within the organization. Implement continuous monitoring to detect any signs of lateral movement or further malicious activity within the network. Next is patch and update systems. Ensure that all systems and software are up to date with the latest security patches and updates. Vulnerabilities in outdated software can be exploited by malware, so keeping systems patched is essential to prevent further attacks. Next is review and tighten security policies. Review and, if necessary, revise security policies and procedures to address the incident's root causes. This may involve tightening email filtering rules, enhancing access controls, or updating incident response procedure. Next is user awareness and education. As part of the containment process, continue to educate employees about the incident and its implications. Reinforce the importance of recognizing and reporting suspicious emails promptly. Next is enhanced security measures. Consider implementing additional security measures to enhance the organization's resilience against similar incidents in the future. This could include MFA, that is multi factor authentication, to add an extra layer of security for user accounts. Next one is intrusion detection and prevention systems to monitor and block malicious network traffic. SIM solutions, that is security information and event management solutions, to enhance threat detection and response capabilities. Next is incident documentation. Document all actions taken during the containment and remediation process. This documentation is essential for post-incident analysis, reporting, and compliance purposes. Next is communication plan. Develop a communication plan to inform stakeholders about the incident, especially if it has the potential to impact business operations or customer trust. Ensure that communication is consistent and transparent. Next is post-incident review. After the threat is contained, conduct a post-incident review to analyze the incident's root causes, lessons learned, and areas for improvement in the incident response process. Use this information to enhance the organization's security posture. Next is continuous improvement. Continuously assess and improve security measures and incident response procedures based on the lessons learned from the incident. Regularly update and test incident response plans to ensure they remain effective. So, by following these detailed steps to contain the threat and prevent its spread, organizations can minimize the impact of security incidents, protect sensitive data, and enhance their overall security posture. Let's go to the next question now. What are the potential implications and risks associated with this incident, both in terms of data exposure and impact on the organization's reputation? First, let's talk about data exposure. The malicious attachment may lead to data exposure or unauthorized access to sensitive information. Depending on the nature of the attachment and the user's privileges, sensitive data such as customer information, financial records, or intellectual property may be at risk. Next is data loss and corruption. Malware attached to the email could lead to data loss and corruption if it infects critical systems and files. The organization may face challenges in recovering or restoring lost data. Next is financial loss. Incidents involving data breaches or data loss can result in significant financial losses. Organizations may incur costs related to incident response, legal actions, regulatory fines, and customer compensation. Next is operational disruption. Malware infections can disrupt normal business operations. If essential systems or services are affected, it can lead to downtime, decreased productivity, and financial losses. Next is legal and regulatory consequences. Depending on the nature of the compromised data, organizations may face legal and regulatory consequences. This can include investigations, fines, and penalties for non-compliance with data protection laws. Next is reputation damage. Security incidents can damage an organization's reputation, eroding trust among customers, partners, and stakeholders. News of a data breach or security incident can have lasting negative effects on an organization's brand image. Customer trust may be compromised if their data is exposed or if they perceive that the organization does not take adequate measures to protect their information. If intellectual property or proprietary information is compromised, it can result in a loss of competitive advantage. Competitors may gain access to sensitive information that could impact the organization's market position. So it's essential for organizations to be proactive in mitigating these potential implications and risks by implementing implementing robust cybersecurity measures, incident response plans, and a strong security culture to minimize the impact of security incidents when they occur. The next question is, how do you educate employees to recognize and report suspicious emails more effectively to prevent similar incidents in the future? You can conduct regular security awareness training, that is to develop and deliver ongoing security awareness training programs that cover phishing awareness and reporting procedures. Next is to conduct simulated phishing exercises. This is to test employees' ability to recognize and report phishing attempts. Next is to establish reporting channels, that is to provide clear and accessible reporting channels for employees to report suspicious employees. Next is incident response training. Train employees on what to do if they suspect a phishing attempt and emphasize the importance of immediate reporting. Let's move on to the next question. Next question is, explain the role of email filtering in preventing such incidents. Email filtering plays a crucial role in an organization's cybersecurity posture, particularly in preventing phishing attacks and other malicious email threats. Let's see that in detail. First is phishing prevention. Email filtering systems are designed to identify and block phishing emails before they even reach users' inboxes. They analyze email content, headers, and attachments for indicators of phishing attempts, such as suspicious links, deceptive content, and spoofed sender email addresses. Next is malware detection. Email filtering solutions include antivirus and anti-malware components that scan email attachments and links for known malware signatures. They can detect and block emails containing malicious attachments, which help prevent malware infections. Next is spam filtering. Email filtering filters out spam emails, reducing the clutter in users' inboxes. While spam may not always be malicious, it can often contain phishing attempts or links to malicious websites. By filtering spam, the system reduces the chances of users engaging with malicious content. Next is attachment analysis. Advanced email filtering solutions can analyze email attachments for suspicious behavior. They can detect files that exhibit characteristics of malicious code or scripts, even if the specific malware is not known. Next is URL reputation scanning. Email filtering systems often incorporate URL reputation checks. They assess the reputation of links included in emails, comparing them to databases of known malicious or phishing websites. This prevents users from clicking on potentially harmful links. Next is sender authentication. Email filtering systems can use sender authentication techniques like SPF, that is Sender Policy Framework, DKIM, Domain Keys Identified Mail, and DMARC to verify the authenticity of sender domains. This helps prevent email spoofing and phishing attempts. Next is real-time threat intelligence. Many email filtering solutions integrate with threat intelligence feeds and databases that provide real-time information about emerging threats. This allows them to identify and block emails associated with known malicious activities promptly. Next one is custom rule set. Organizations can configure custom filtering rules based on their specific needs and threat landscape. They can create rules to block emails containing specific keywords, patterns, or attachments commonly associated with their industry's threats. Next is quarantine and reporting. Suspicious emails that are caught by email filtering are typically quarantined rather than being delivered to users' inboxes. Users can review and report any false positives, which helps fine-tune the filtering system. Next is machine learning and AI, that is artificial intelligence. Advanced email filtering solutions use machine learning and artificial intelligence to adapt to evolving threats. These systems can detect subtle indicators of phishing or malware that may not be apparent through traditional rule-based methods. Next one is granular policy management. Email filtering allows organizations to apply granular policies to different types of email traffic. For example, they can set stricter filtering filtering rules for external emails while allowing more relaxed rules for internal communications. Next is reporting and analysis. Email filtering solutions provide reporting and analysis capabilities that allow security teams to monitor email threats, track trends, and identify potential areas for improvement in the organization security postures. Next is incident response support. Email filtering systems can aid in incident response by providing logs and details about blocked emails. This information is valuable for investigating potential threats and understanding attack patterns. There are numerous email filtering systems available today. For example, Microsoft Defender for Office. This was formerly known as Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection. Then we have Semantic Email Security Cloud, Proofpoint Email Protection. Then there is Trend Micro Cloud App Security, Cisco Email Security, McAfee Email Gateway. There is MailGuard. So there are many email filtering systems that are available today in the market that your organizations can use or might already be using. In summary, email filtering is a crucial component of an organization's defense against email-based threats. It acts as a first line of defense, preventing phishing attempts, malware infections, and spam from reaching users' inboxes, thereby reducing the risk of security incidents and data breaches. So that's it for today. I will see you in another video with another scenario based question. Until then, see ya. Bye bye.